My son, please, win this and I'll give you $100 million, the billionaire said, smirking. Lose, and your mother is finished here forever. Silence fell over the room. Forks froze mid-bite. Champagne bubbles hung in place, and every gaze turned toward the 10-year-old girl standing beside her mother. Her name was Amara, and she was about to change everything. The Ritos Lounge in San Francisco was no ordinary restaurant. It was a performance, a stage for the wealthy to be admired as much as to dine. White linen tables gleamed beneath golden light. Walls glowed with modern art few understood, and every corner whispered money. Loud, old, and unchallenged. On this night, the crowd wasn't watching the art. They were watching a waitress in plain black, her name tag slightly crooked, her hands gripping a tray. Cassandra moved with practiced grace, silent dignity etched into her posture. But to men like Richard Kessler, billionaire CEO of Kessler Tech, she was invisible until the moment he decided to make her a target. It began with a glass of water, tipped by another guest, caught before it fell. But a few drops landed on white linen. Cassandra apologized, already replacing the napkin, when Richard turned sharply, his smirk designed for an audience. Did you spill that? He asked. Not a question, an accusation. She answered softly. No, sir. But he cut her off. Of course, it's never your fault, is it? Someone like you! Those words sliced through the air. Some guests chuckled nervously. Others stared down at their plates. Cassandra kept her silence. She had learned men like Richard weren't seeking answers. They wanted compliance. But Amara heard. She was only 10, wearing a simple hoodie and sneakers tucked into the corner booth with her book. Yet when she rose and walked across the floor, her presence carried weight beyond her years. She stood beside her mother and looked Richard in the eye. My mother may not play chess, she said, her voice steady. But I do. The lounge fell silent. This was no longer about spilled water. It was about power, about dignity, about a child daring to stand where she was not supposed to. Richard leaned back, theatrical, amused. You play? Amara nodded. Well then, he grinned, gesturing toward the collector's chess set encased in glass. Let's play right now. Win, and I'll give you $100 million. Lose, and your mother is blacklisted forever. The room gasped. Some laughed, thinking it a cruel joke. But Richard's eyes were sharp. He was serious. Cassandra tried to stop it, but Amara placed a hand gently on her mother's arm. Let me, she whispered. She walked to the table, pulled out the chair, and sat. I accept. The audience leaned forward. Phones appeared in trembling hands. The stage was set. Richard took the obsidian pieces. Amara took white. Her first move was calm and sure. Pawn to e4. He smirked. Textbook. His counterattack came fast, precise, aggressive. He was no novice. Richard had played for years in private clubs and exclusive circles. He played to humiliate, to dominate, but Amara was different. She did not rush. She studied the board with a patience far older than her 10 years. Every move she made was steady, purposeful. Knights, bishops, castle. She built slowly, carefully. The crowd leaned closer. The laughter stopped. Something was shifting. Richard tried to distract her with words, but Amara gave nothing back. At last, he leaned forward, voice low. Walk away now. I'll let your mother keep her job, no blacklist. Pretend this never happened. Amara did not flinch. Is it your turn, Mr. Kessler? The billionaire's smile faltered. He launched his attack, sacrificing pawns, storming forward with his queen, circling with his knights. To the crowd, it looked like control. But Amara's calm never broke. She was waiting, building, letting her pawns advance quietly. Her grandfather's lessons whispered through her memory. People ignore pawns until one becomes a queen. And then it happened. While Richard lunged for victory, he left blind spots. Amara's pawn marched forward step by step until it reached the final square. Queen, she said softly. The room gasped. A murmur swept through the crowd as realization dawned. The smallest piece had become the strongest. Richard's plan crumbled. His queen was trapped. His defense shattered. You were too busy chasing power, Amara said quietly. You never saw the revolution coming. The match unraveled quickly. Check, counter, checkmate. The Obsidian King was cornered, powerless. The Ritos Lounge sat in breathless silence. No applause, no cheers. Only the weight of what had just unfolded. A billionaire defeated, not by another mogul, but by a child he thought he could belittle. Amara stood tucked in her chair and looked Richard in the eye. I didn't win because I'm special, she said. I won because you forgot I was possible. Her words echoed louder than any celebration. For the first time in his empire-building life, Richard Kessler sat in silence, undone by truth, by legacy, by grace. And the world would never forget the night a waitress's daughter left a billionaire in Checkmate. Closing reflection. This story is about more than money. It's about dignity. It's about remembering that silence is not weakness, youth is not ignorance, and the smallest voices can rewrite the rules. Maybe you felt like a pawn in someone else's game, overlooked, underestimated, but pawns become queens, and when they do, everything changes. If this story moved you, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more cinematic stories of unseen heroes who rise when no one expects them to.